On this episode, we're diving into our latest trip where we combine great food, live music, and Disney magic for an unforgettable weekend. Today's March 20th, 2025, and this is episode 755 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys! Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, in addition to live streams from the parks and our weekly live show, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic Community and ask to join.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. Are you ready for your bucket list trip? Our trusted partner, MEI Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today.
So we are just 2 months out until Main Street 16. That's crazy to think about.
I know. This will be our 4th annual Main Street 16 Challenge Weekend. If you've been with us in the past, in the first 3 years, we raised over $30,000 for Give Kids the World Village.
Yeah.
We're switching up a few things this year. One of those will be that we are changing our charity of choice from Give Kids the World Village, who we had a wonderful 3 years supporting. This year, we are going to switch over to the Dream Team Project, which was founded by none other than Lou Mangello himself from WDW Radio. And what's great about the Dream Team Project is that it benefits directly Make-A-Wish Foundation.
That's awesome.
Which, of course, a lot of times Make-A-Wish will send those wishes down to Give Kids the World Village in Central Florida. So we thought it was a great way to kind of connect those dots and move on to something like that. So there's a lot of details. There's still going to be more coming out. Everything is up at mainstreet16.com. That includes the registration for this year's challenge on Saturday. That includes the information for our host hotel, which is the Drury Inn at Disney Springs. We've got a really good rate there for the weekend. It's May 15th to May 18th. If you go on the website, you can contact our incredible travel advisor, Amy Frazier, with MEI Travel, and she will get you all set up in our room block, but you got to go through her so you make sure you get the discount. We are going to have some exclusive things going on for those hotel guests only, so you really want to make sure that you're at the Drury. And we are working on a Friday event in the afternoon that's going to be a lot of fun. If you were with us our first year, remember we did that scavenger hunt. Now that was throughout basically all of Walt Disney World, and we almost killed everyone. So this year, what we're going to do is it's going to be a scavenger hunt / amazing race style race through Disney Springs, where teams will compete to find out what their next clue, what their next location or challenge is. We'll have some cool prizes for that. But all of this info will not only be coming up on additional episodes of Main Street Magic, but again, you can go to mainstreet16.com, find everything out, and to really ramp things up in 3 weeks, Rhonda had this wonderful idea. What are we going to do on April 10th, Rhonda, to raise money for the Dream Team Project and raise awareness for our Main Street 16 weekend?
Apparently, we are going to drive to Magic Kingdom and ride Small World over and over and over and over until it
for 10
closes.
Hours. Yeah, so you can join us online if you want. You can come in person. We will be there April 10th at Magic Kingdom. Yeah, well, we're going to be there all day from basically we're going to start riding at 11, and we're going to ride through Small World as many times as we can until 9 p.m. Now, if you are in the area, if you're going to be in the area, hit us up on social when we start doing things that morning, because you have a shot if you want. Come out, hop in a queue with us when we get off and get back on, ride with us. We're going to set up some cool mini challenges where if you ride like, I don't know, 3 times in a row with us or something, you get a shout out on the podcast, or we'll figure out some fun stuff that day. But April 10th, and that info's on mainstreet16.com as well. But let's get into last weekend, Rhonda. There's a lot to cover.
There's a lot.
There's going to be 2 episodes. So we were there from Friday to Monday last weekend. And today we're going to talk about Friday and Saturday. We're going to talk about our stay at Pop Century, a lot of dining, Garden Rocks series, and a little bit more. So let's just kick it off. Where did we stay? We had not been there in quite some time.
Yeah, we actually stayed at Pop Century, which, like Jeremy said, we haven't stayed in a very long time. We were in the 90s building, and, you know, these are all been refurbed. So it's basically just like all your values, where it's the Murphy pull-down bed, which is really nice. And it's so funny because I think walking by, I was like, oh, that's a king bedroom with the... And I thought,
looking through the windows.
Looking through the windows, I thought, oh, wow. But then I was like, oh, wait, no, I forgot. These are the ones that you pull down. So,
well, and remember, just
funny.
A week prior, that was a week prior, we had that room at All-Star.
Yes.
That was a king bed ADA room.
But it was not sleep. Like, it could not sleep
Correct.
anymore.
Yeah, it didn't have that fold down. So when you're walking by and you see the windows open and all, or the drapes open to other rooms, and you kind of glance in, it can be a little confusing. And I know that people have even gone there and walked into the rooms with the Murphy beds up, and they've been like, we have 4 people.
Yeah.
There's only one bed for 2. So you just pull that sucker down.
Yeah.
But, what was the main reason, I guess, we chose Pop Century? I mean, I think it's kind of obvious, but... let's talk about it.
Yeah, because of the Skyliner. Because, excuse me, we were actually going to be going to EPCOT a lot because it was Garden Rocks and Blue October was playing. So that's just such a great place to stay if you're going to be going to EPCOT with the Skyliner access.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, EPCOT or Hollywood Studios, and another thing that I think people sometimes overlook, they focus on the Skyliner resorts as a means of getting to the parks easy and quickly, right? But what it really does is it opens you up to so much dining. It opens you up with an opportunity to visit. If you're at Pop Century, you can easily visit, dine at Caribbean Beach, Riviera, make your way over to Yacht, Beach, Boardwalk, Swan, Dolphin, Swan Reserve. So there's a lot of opportunities there, especially when you look at dining.
Yes.
So there have been some updates throughout All Stars and Pop Century as far as the food courts go. Pop Century is still undergoing a little bit of work on their coffee and ice cream area, right?
Yeah,
and you remember that's the one. I like that area in Pop Century because on one side, which I guess I'll call the interior, as you walk into the food court on the left there is where they will do ice cream and all. On the opposite side is open to kind of the big dining hall area, and that's where they have specialty coffees and everything. So I'm interested to see if it's just a refurb of those locations or if anything changes. But, when you're looking at the cost, which we always like to talk about, is, is something worth costing more? Is something better just to spend less? Let's just say, I'm just going to pull numbers out of the air. You could stay at a All-Star Sports, which usually tends to be the lower one, for, before tax and all that, $160 a night.
Okay.
Or you could stay at Pop Century for $200 a night. And let's just say you're doing a 4-night stay. So that right there is about $160 extra. That's a whole other night at All-Star if you really wanted. Do you think that Pop Century is worth it for that access to Skyliner, walk right over to Art of Animation and all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
I would have to agree.
Yes. I'm like kind of thinking as I'm saying yes.
I'm like, what would be your break point maybe? You know what I mean? Like, do you think you'd have to go at least maybe $50, $60 a night savings to go to All-Star?
Well, I think my break point would be, it depends like where I'm staying. Like if I'm basically going to be doing like Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom per se that weekend for some reason. Obviously, it'd be better to stay at All Star.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to use buses either if you're going from Pop or All Star, so why not save the money?
Correct. But if I had a plan like we did, planning on going to Epcot quite a bit, Flower and Garden is going on. A lot of people want to do that. Yes, I would stay. If you want to go over to Hollywood, again, yes, I would stay there.
Yeah. And I think there's something to be said. No, we don't take strollers anymore, obviously, but I think there is something to be said about the fact that if you are staying at Pop Century, even, if you are hitting all 4 parks, you can, roll that stroller right onto the Skyliner when you're headed to Epcot or Hollywood Studios. Yeah. Another thing that is nice, and we talked about this so many times, is what are you never going to have to do on a Skyliner because there's too many people.
Oh, you're never going to have to stand.
Yeah.
Every single person gets a seat.
Yeah.
Now, when it's at night, if it is just 2 of you, like me and Jeremy, they will ask how many, and if it's possible, like, for example, one of the times it was 8 of us on there, and they put us in, and I sat so close to the door basically because
you almost lost a foot.
It split us up.
Yeah.
And I'm still that type that I don't want to touch people that I don't know.
Yeah.
So I did, and then it kind of got my foot a little bit, and it scared me, and I was like, oh goodness.
Yeah.
But
well, and I think what happened most of the time is we ended up usually being the last 2 when we had to get on. And so I think usually the groups in front of us were unaware they were going to stick 2 strangers on with them.
Correct.
So they split sides on the seats. So we never sat next to each other.
Correct.
We always ended up on those last 2 seats sitting across from each other. Something else you'll see probably, you're staying at Pop. Just say Epcot, Hollywood, whatever closes. You walk out, you see this long, long line for the Skyliner, and you immediately think, Jeremy and Rhonda are idiots. This is the longest line I've ever seen. It moves quick.
It really does.
There's not a quicker, loading for any other transportation on property in the sense of constant loading.
Right.
Certainly something like a bus, some of the boats, the ferry boats hold a lot more people.
Right.
But they're not loading as often. This is constant. Every 15, 20 seconds, they're potentially loading 8 people into those Skyliners.
Right. And at night like that, when it's coming, period, these are all empty. So it's not like, when you're at Riviera and you're trying to get on and there's a whole bunch of people coming from, this is all empty. So this is also why this line keeps moving. Did you ever do the time?
So I timed the one night. I think I timed the first night, and we waited from the time we got in line, which wrapped
9 o'clock
way around. It was about a 15-20 minute before we were on the Skyliner.
Perfect.
Which is easily what you're going to wait for a bus. Now, the thing with the buses is sometimes you wait that 15-20 minutes, and if you're in the back of that long line, you might not be getting on that bus.
Correct.
So you have to think about that. Now add another 10, 15, 20 minutes until the next one comes around. So...
But at night, sometimes they do a little bit better, and they have one right there.
Yeah.
But still, you could be standing. You could not have a seat, and I think that right there is very much more enticing. For the Skyliner for me.
Yeah. I mean, if they were somehow able, let's just say in some miracle world, every single resort had the option of a Skyliner, a bus, a boat, or a monorail, I would get on the Skyliner every single time if I was worried about timing. You know what I mean? It is the best mode of transportation as far as getting you where you need to go as quick as possible than anything else on property, I think.
Okay.
So other than your own car, you know? So we're really going to spend the rest of this episode for the most part, though, talking about food. I don't know if this is the most dining we have ever done in an individual weekend. Our Disney Visa would probably say it is. We did a lot. So
oh my goodness.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
But let's first start with a brand new treat over at Disney Springs.
Yeah.
What is it, Rhonda?
So Swirls on the Water has a Banana Foster and salted caramel soft serve swirl sundae bowl. This is
It's easier just to point at when you have to order it instead of saying all that.
Yeah, I bet.
Luckily, you get Banana Fosters out, and they're like, I know what the rest of it is.
Right.
Just be quiet, buddy.
This is only $6.49. This is Banana Fosters with banana and salted caramel soft serve swirl with caramel sauce, fresh bananas, whipped cream, and salted caramel crispy pearls. So this thing is in a waffle bowl. It is yellow and like brown soft serve.
With the salted caramel.
And the banana's yellow. Like it reminds me of the Runts banana yellow.
Oh yeah.
But this thing is so good. I would like to get this again. It was absolutely shockingly outstanding. Like, I don't know why. I think because of the way it looked, maybe a little bit, but it was so good. The only thing I wish there was a little more bananas. There was about 4 bananas. We each got slices. Yeah,
4 whole bananas would be plenty.
Yeah, it would. Sorry, 4 slices.
They just hand you a bunch of bananas. You got to peel them yourself. But they have a sticker on them promoting Lilo and Stitch coming up, live action, May 23rd. Be there. So.
Yay! I will be there.
So I personally think this is the best thing that Swirls on the Water has put out to date. We haven't run into a lot there that we don't like. For me, this is my favorite.
I bet that makes sense. Yeah.
For $6.49, I can't believe that's all they're charging for this thing. Now, because we're professionals, we split it between the two of us. But again, I think you could easily split this amongst a family of 4 for an after, dinner treat, or I don't know, maybe you're on vacation. Eat it before dinner. Who cares?
We ate it for breakfast.
Okay. Well, I wasn't going to mention that part, but we had research to do. And in the distance, I could hear somebody standing outside Salt and Straw going, Rhonda, Jeremy, where are you? And we were just hiding behind an umbrella over at Swirls. But I will say, if you do not like the taste of banana flavored items, you won't like this, because let's be honest, banana flavored items don't taste like banana.
That's true.
They taste like banana flavored items. I think
it was really good.
It was so good, and I like banana. I'm the type that would leave the banana runts for last, so that's all I could eat at the end.
Correct.
I'll buy a bag of banana runts only.
Yeah.
Like, I love them, and I'm okay with that flavor. But I love the touch of the fresh bananas, which give you such a punch of true banana flavor. Yeah. I don't know who developed banana flavoring, but I feel like there was a meeting. They said, hey, boss, here is this item, and we're going to flavor it as a banana. I want you to try it. And he tried it, and he's like, have you ever tasted a banana before? And the guy's like, nah. He's like, me either. Just go with it. Who cares, But you know what it is when you taste it. Some in our minds, they have just put, this is what banana flavored stuff tastes like. Yeah. Even though it's not a banana. I just thought it was perfect. I love the crunch of the little pearls that are in there. Of course, you have the waffle bowl underneath. I would recommend you rush out and get this, because it will be a limited time. Mm-hmm. So I don't know that we'll have the opportunity to get it again unless we go have it for breakfast on April 11th before we come home after riding Small World for 10 hours the day before. Listen,
man, we're going to Disneyland that next
oh, I know. So that's why we're getting Wednesday, up and coming home.
I have to get my nails. I already made an appointment. I have a 2 p.m. on the 11th.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So,
we will be home by then, and we might be full of more Banana Foster's stuff. So, all right, let's move on to the real reason we were coming down, of course, which was to see Blue October at the Garden Rocks series. So they were playing Friday night, Saturday night. Of course, those shows are at 5:30, 6:45, and 8:30 every evening. You can go out to our website. You can go to Disney's website, look up Garden Rocks. You will see the full lineup, everybody that is still coming. And, of course, we've got a few months left of this, so there's still a lot of great artists left. But when you look at things like the Candlelight Processional, and you look at a Neil Patrick Harris, a Josh Gad, a John Stamos, Ralph Macchio, most of them, a dining package is very needed to make sure you get into the show you want, to see who you want.
Right.
I think with Garden Rocks, it's not necessarily a must, but we kind of feel like, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Correct.
You know, our thought, and we met a lot of new friends, saw some old friends, Blue October friends from both EPCOT and concerts and all that we've been to. And, you know, our whole point, and Rhonda would usually bring this up, is like, look, we got to eat anyway, right?
Right.
So if we're going to eat anyway, let's do it, and let's get a guaranteed seat for at least one of the shows.
Yes, and now these guaranteed seats are so much better, and you feel better paying the price because they are roping off, and they are not letting general admission in the roped off areas.
Yeah.
I say general admission. Stand by.
Yeah, stand by. I mean, but it is. I mean, it's like a general admission.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's the only thing is it, you know, it's not reserved seating, it's guaranteed seating.
Correct.
So it's not as though, you know, hey, you sit exactly in this spot, because it's a big bench. So, you know, sometimes the earlier you maybe get into your dining package line, maybe the better or closer seat you will get. So I think having that guaranteed seat for at least one show that you want to see is important. Now, a lot of people are going to see that one show on one of the nights, and they're going to be satisfied. Not me. I want to see all 6. So we utilize standby as well. But I booked something for Friday dining to make sure we had the 8 p.m. show, and then we were going to do standby for the other 2, and then the same thing on Saturday.
Yes.
So Friday, we get there, and our dining for Friday is at 9 Dragons over in China. Do you believe it's been a decade since we ate here? At least 7 years, right?
I mean, the last time we ate were with the kids.
Yeah, and I
they
think
were
your
a lot
parents,
younger. Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And this used to be the kids' favorite place.
Yes.
We learned something a bit new.
We did.
And honestly, I would kind of recommend this as part of your 9 Dragon dining, is to go see Reflections of China prior, right?
Yeah. It was neat. I'm not going to lie. We were kind of, for lack of a better term, wasting time.
Because I thought we had a 2:15 reservation, but it was actually at 3. So
yes.
we did have a little time to kill.
But we were killing time. We were still asked at 2:00.
Oh, I know.
So, he got confused with our 2 dinings for the 2 days. So we were trying to waste some time, and we went in to see Reflections of China. And that was really cool. It's a 360.
Yeah, 360 show. You have to stand. It's just like Canada far and wide as far as the setup.
It does bother me a little bit, so I had to look down a couple of times depending on what was on the screens. But what was really cool is during this show, they were showing all over China, and it was really cool because they started talking about the 9 Dragon Wall and Beijing's Forbidden City. And I was like, oh, wait, that's really cool. That means this 9 Dragons is like a real thing.
Yeah,
this
that's
wasn't
what it's named after.
Yeah,
which is cool. I mean, you know, this film is old. I'm not sure what year this film came out in, but it's mostly showing you all of the history and historic sites of China. So it's not like those have truly changed. But I just thought it was really cool to see. 9 Dragons opened in October of 1985, so it has been there for quite some time.
Oh, okay.
What would you, I guess, describe kind of the atmosphere and the service like? Is there anything you would compare it to? For example, any Chinese restaurant that you go to anywhere in the United States.
Okay, that's what I thought you were getting at.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
And it's not a knock. It's not a knock.
It's just there's nothing to it. It's plain to me.
Yeah, I mean if you just were blindfolded and just walked inside of there, first of all, I would ask why. I don't know why anybody would do that to you, or why you'd go along with it. But and you open your eyes and you just look around and you would be like, this is a Chinese restaurant,
right?
But yeah, there's nothing super crazy about it. Service, I will say, and we have not been to, Asia anywhere, but I can tell you that like the Asian culture, from what we have noticed by dining in Japan and China in EPCOT, service is always top notch.
Yeah.
They are attentive.
Yes,
they
I
are
agree.
so friendly. They are knowledgeable about everything. When we did Shikisai, I mean, like that was one of the best servers
true.
we've ever had at Disney.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
I do love that part about it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the pricing for Garden Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And what does this cost for that Garden Rocks concert series? Of course, you get to select when you're booking which show you would like to attend that night.
That's
and you get
cool.
your meal and that guaranteed seating, right?
So adults are $59 a piece and children are $23. And then we picked the 8 p.m. dining Garden Rock show.
For that one. When you check in, they're just going to, verify that. Said, hey, I see you have 8 p.m. Garden Rocks. And then they're going to give you your 2 stickers at the end of your meal after you have paid the bill.
Yes.
So just so you know. So the menu here is pretty traditional. I don't think there's anything that's going to be like, you're going to be like, wow, I never expected that here. I mean, it is, again, Chinese table service food. And we've always enjoyed it in the past. The girls used to love this place. It was our go-to at EPCOT before.
Yes.
So I was really glad that we got back to it.
Yeah, me too.
Now, let's talk about what we ordered. When you do the Garden Rocks package, that gets you 1 non-alcoholic or alcoholic beverage if you are 21 and up, obviously, per person. That gets you either a buffet or family style dining, so buffet like beer garden, or when it is what we'll call a la carte like this, it entitles you to that beverage, 1 entree, and 1 dessert. As we found out in the past, when they kind of made this switch and went away from appetizers, there are no trades.
Right.
You can't say, well, this dessert is $15. This app is $15. Can I just swap them?
Correct.
We have had no luck, and we've tried it multiple times. So
they're
not going to do that for you. But let's start with the beverages. Obviously, we are not drinking alcohol anymore.
Correct.
If you do, take advantage of the alcoholic beverage. It is going to increase your value that you paid for this by a lot.
Yeah.
But what
and
did we
they've got
opt for?
good drinks.
They do. All these places have wonderful drinks. And your average drinks at most of these places on the very, very low end are $13. They're usually somewhere between $15 and $17. So you have to think about that when you work that in your overall value and price.
I did ask if they had a non-alcoholic beer. They did not, which was a little sad. But they did have a blackberry jasmine iced tea that is unsweetened for $5.25, and then they have a raspberry iced tea that is sweetened for $4.95. So that is what we decided on that, because they didn't have any really mocktails or anything like that. So that's what we got.
How'd you like? You went with the raspberry sweetened iced tea.
I did, and it was really good. It was really sweet.
It was, yeah.
And how did you like yours unsweet?
I could have used some of your sweetness.
Yeah.
I definitely am just not an unsweet tea person. I tried adding some sugar, and because it is not a hot beverage, the sugar just falls to the bottom, and then you swirl it around, it looks like you got a snow globe basically, because there's just sugar floating everywhere. Your straw might suck some up, then you're just eating sugar granules. It kind of tastes like you're eating one of the oysters there over in America,
right,
for Flower and Garden at that point. But So one of the things that we do here, and those drinks are $4.95 and $5.25. That's not a huge value, but go ahead and get one.
Oh yeah.
You might as well, if you drink something other than water, go ahead and get it here.
100%.
Get the value out of it.
Yep.
Usually what we'll look for, assuming we like that item, is we'll go for the most expensive dishes, right?
Yep.
Because again, it gets that value. We're trying to work our way back to $59 basically, or close to it.
Yeah.
So what did you decide on? You did ask our lovely server a question about this dish, because it had a couple little chilies next to it, didn't it?
It had 3 to be exact.
Yeah. And the max is 3. Just so you know.
And am I going to say this right?
Sichuan Shui Zhu beef.
Okay. The reason I was picking this, not only for the bistro beef, the white mushrooms, but the wide glass noodles is why I was wanting that, because I wanted a noodle dish.
Yeah.
This is $35, and then of course it's in Sichuan chili oil broth.
Well, okay, first of all, you said how spicy is it, and he said it is spicy.
Yes.
Right? And
I almost started to say, is it Disney spicy?
Yeah. But I don't know that he's eating all around property, so you decided, you'll get it.
Yes.
So they bring it out. What were your initial thoughts when you saw this dish?
How ginormous it was.
Yeah, like who's going to help me eat this?
Yeah. Thing? And they brought white rice with it.
Yep, little bowl on the side of white rice.
It was giant.
It was huge.
Like,
I've not seen a portion as big as this. Now, a lot of this is a broth and a chili oil. But
still
within
a lot of
it is
food.
loaded with beef.
What'd you ever do with that food, by the way?
I ended up. We'll get to that part in a little bit. I did not eat the leftovers. The leftovers went on a journey, and by the time I got home, I just thought, better safe than sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
Try.
Listen. First of all, there's so much food here that you and I ate a good amount.
Yes.
And then we took home what is probably close to a quart. Maybe it was a pint. Probably more like a quart-sized container, right, of leftovers. And that was after you picked out a load of chili peppers, the dry chilies that are floating around in this, right?
That was too much for me, that part.
That was a lot in there. But so we'll get back to the flavors. But so we got that to go because there was a lot of food left, right?
Yeah.
And we haven't even gotten to my dish, remember. I have a whole entree coming for me, right?
Oh, so... Yeah.
So we took that with us, and he gave us a bag and all, and we carried that. We got out of there just, say, 3 o'clock or something like that.
This is Friday.
Yeah, this is Friday. So we carried that with us. It waited in the first standby line and saw Blue October with us. It waited in the second standby line and saw Blue October with us. It then got in the dining package line with us and saw Blue October. We then made our way back.
And then put it in the refrigerator.
Put it in the fridge. Okay. Stayed in the fridge all the way till Sunday morning. Yep. Sunday morning, we took it out and we put it in a cooler with some Ziploc bags full of ice from the ice machine. And it traveled over to the Contemporary where it sat in the back of our vehicle in ice for a couple hours until we were able to get into our room and then put it in the fridge in our room. Right? It got a little look out. We'll talk about the Contemporary next one. It got a little view at the castle. Said it loved it. It would definitely come back.
Oh.
So then Monday morning, when we had to leave the Contemporary, I again put it in our cooler with ice. And it traveled over to the Dolphin with us, where it continued to sit in the cooler until we got home later that evening. At that
Which
point,
was like 6 p.m.
Okay, it was like 6 p.m. Okay. At that point, I then put it in our refrigerator.
You did.
And then Tuesday came around, and I looked at it, and I thought, this is a bad idea to eat this. So I went ahead, and I placed it in its burial place inside the bottom of our trash can. So I'm sorry, Sichuan Shui Zhu beef, but we did enjoy you while we had you.
We did.
Talk about the dish.
Other than the chilies, because I ate some of the chilies and they just, to me, I'm going to explain it like this, and please tell me if you think I'm wrong. They're dried, so being in the oil, they tasted, when I ate it tasted plasticky.
Yeah, they don't fully rehydrate.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
So
texture-wise, it is a little off-putting when you bite into one.
And I didn't like it. But the mushrooms, the baby corn, the wide glass noodles, the beef, everything was fantastic. The spice, whoo-wee, was spicy.
Yeah. It has a kick.
But I think the most amazing part is once I ate some, and I mean, you're almost sweating, your nose is running spicy. Like, I mean, and I like spice. This actually wasn't too spicy for me, but I'm sweating, my nose is running, and this is my top level spice where I'm like, if it was any spicier. But what the most amazing part is it was a good spice. It wasn't a burn. Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense.
Like, I wasn't like, oh my God, I need some water. Yep. And after I would like eat a few other things or drink some sweet tea, all of a sudden that spice was gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, I want some more now. And I would eat some more. And the beef was so tender and really good, cooked great. The wide glass noodles were a little weird.
Why do you think they call them glass noodles?
Because they're see-through.
I've never seen these before.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah.
So they were a little weird, and I tried to not wrap it around because I was afraid. I was getting really close to, like, my brain was about to be like, nope, we're not eating these glass noodles.
And they're hard to keep on a fork.
They are. They're
very
slippery.
They're in this chili oil. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, at this point, you're just chasing a greased pig around. Like, I mean, they were really hard to get up on there, but they were delicious. They were perfectly cooked, slightly al dente noodles.
What do you think of it?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think that this level of spice, if you like spice, to me is perfect because not only do you get a nice little heat, it's going to make your brow sweat a little bit. Mm-hmm. You taste everything.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
like
do.
Rhonda said, it's not this burning spice where you're like, was that beef? Was that corn? I don't know. My mouth's on fire.
Right.
And you're right. As you maybe ate some of the white rice, whether you ate it with it or separate, as you dipped into my dish a little bit, as you had some of your tea, that spice would quickly just kind of go away.
Yeah.
And by the time we were leaving the restaurant, it was gone. I wasn't really sweating anymore,
Nope.
Other than it being 80 outside or whatever.
Right.
But I thought this was an absolutely outstanding
And what
dish.
did he say about the dish when we told him?
So he said that dish is the most true, or yeah, is that the word I'm looking for? It's the most like the actual dish you would get in China.
Correct. I thought that was
So
really
so I
cool.
thought that was really cool as well.
Yep.
And so you remember we were talking last time about John is saying he's got some points about how's the value, how's the portion size.
Yeah.
Did you get what they
did we
promised?
tell the price?
So his fourth one, I'm not sure. We'll go to it in a minute. His fourth one, which I forgot, was can I make this at home?
Oh,
Because
that's
if you
right.
can make it at home, that really does look at, well, then how much is it worth it? How is this easy to do at home?
I couldn't make this.
I could not make this at home. Portion to value ratio, this would have been $35 out of pocket.
Yeah.
I think is outstanding.
Yeah, I do too.
If you got a little maybe side of white rice to go with the white rice it already comes with, an added side, this is easily shareable amongst two adults.
If not,
If not
more.
If not four adults, and again, maybe you did an appetizer or two for the table if there's four of us adults, and then you all kind of split this. I thought it was a wonderful dish. I really, really loved it.
Yeah.
So what I ordered, to no one's surprise, probably would be the smoked duck fried rice. If there's duck on a menu, I'm usually going to try it out. It's one of those things that I always like to try because I like duck. I like to see how it's prepared, if it's prepared properly, and then compare it and tell you, if you kind of like duck or you've never had it, maybe here's the places you should get it. Maybe here's the places you shouldn't. So this is what it is. It's egg fried rice with smoked duck breast sliced and a hoisin sauce. Out of pocket, $35 as well.
How many slices of duck? Like
It was
5?
probably maybe 6, 7 slices. I mean,
Okay.
I would venture
trying
to
to remember.
say it's probably about a 4 to 5 ounce duck breast because that's a pretty standard serving of a protein like that. Then sliced about a 1/4 inch thick. It's laid on top of this egg fried rice, which is fried rice with a ton of egg in it.
And a little green onion.
Yeah, a little bit of green onion in there. It's layered with the duck on top.
Yep.
Nice presentation, and then a little bit of that hoisin on top. Fried rice was perfect.
Oh, so
I thought it was outstanding. I could have just eaten a bowl of that. In fact, it took some of the leftover fried rice took a little trip with our Sichuan, Shui beef buddy, and unfortunately met its demise at the end of our trip on Monday or Tuesday morning. But the duck. So I think my only knock to it, and it really doesn't end up mattering, is that I believe that the duck is prepared ahead of time and then it is reheated in some way for service, because it still looked like a nice kind of medium, but the texture was not as tender as you would have expected.
yeah.
Now, I didn't care because the flavors were spot on. It was delicious. It was still cooked properly. And
outside.
the skin on it was so crisp that when you bit that skin, which I think duck has to have, it has to have that crispy skin. This is like eating duck bacon wrapped around this nice duck breast. So I was fine that the meat wasn't as kind of like fork tender as I maybe would like or am used to, because every last flavor was there. And I would order this again and again.
How did you
Easy.
call it? Like sliced turkey?
It had the texture
That's
of
the-
sliced Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah. And it was
breast.
good, though.
Yeah, but it was
I
fine.
really,
Yeah.
really
So again,
liked
not like it was off-putting, not like it
Correct.
was chewy, not any of
Correct.
that. It's just, and if you've never had duck before, you would be like, okay, this has the texture of cooked chicken or
Right.
turkey, which is poultry, so must be the way that it goes. What did you think of this?
I
dish overall? 'Cause
absolutely
you had
loved
you had a couple
it.
pieces of duck, and you loved the
it.
fried rice, right?
I loved it. This is something that it'd be very hard pressed if we went back to get other things. It'd be hard pressed for me not to get this, because I just love the fried rice. The duck was really good. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
I kept
so-
going back with my dish. I kept like picking at yours to eat because I'm like, I almost wish we would have switched. But I mean,
Yeah.
I ate enough. Like I was full. Like
Oh,
it was,
for sure. Yeah, we had plenty,
Yeah.
but not plenty enough because we still have a dessert that we have to get with our meal, right? What did you opt for?
So they have a chocolate hazelnut crepe cake, and I believe it was 7 layers.
9 layers.
9? Oh my goodness.
You'll never guess why it was 9 layers.
Oh, because it's
Called
9 dragons.
Yeah, it's not called 7 dragons.
That's true.
All the dragons showed up for work that day.
And I didn't even see.
It's in the description.
It's in the description.
Yeah.
9 layers of light and soft crepes interlaced with delicate whipped cream for $13.
Chocolate hazelnut whipped cream.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
I liked it. The texture was a little weird. I had to take my first bite. I'm always like 2-bite Rhonda. That's what Jeremy calls me now. But my first bite, I'm like, I don't know. I take my second bite and I'm like, okay, I like it. I do. It was really good, and I ate almost all of it.
Yeah. I thought it was a really cool dessert that we had never really had anything like that. You know, I mean, sure, we've probably had a chocolate hazelnut crepe of some sort at some time, but not this 9 layers of it. Yeah, shaped in a piece of cake. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. I would get that again. It was very light. It was very refreshing.
Yes.
I opted for the ube cheesecake. This is made with cream cheese and real purple sweet potato and complemented by a crustless bottom layer of vanilla cheesecake for $14. Mm-hmm. To me, ube doesn't have this specific flavor. Right. It might just be me.
Right.
It has a very specific and unique look because it is bright purple.
Yeah.
Often,
very pretty.
Yeah, and often that is accompanied by some food coloring or things like that to make it even brighter. Perfect layer of this purple ube cheesecake. Nice layer of regular vanilla cheesecake underneath. A couple little blueberries with some syrup on top. Nice and fresh. I thought it was delicious. I loved it. It was a great way. Both of these were great ways to end this meal.
Yes, it was.
Especially after that spicy Sichuan beef dish. Mm-hmm. So I would highly recommend either dessert.
Absolutely.
Myself. Now, let's break it down, okay? Because before taxes and tip and all, our total cost for the dining package is going to come to $118, right? Mm-hmm. If you had paid out of pocket for the items that we got, both beverages, both entrees, and both desserts, it would have added up again before tax and tip and all, $107.20. So that's only a cost difference of $10.80. That $10.80 gives you a no headache guaranteed seat for the both of us to see one of our favorite bands that evening.
Yeah.
Is the dining package worth it in this scenario?
Absolutely.
100%.
100%.
Yeah. And if we had both had an alcoholic beverage, we're actually probably going to come up about $10 to $15 on top.
Yeah.
Which basically means one of your alcoholic beverages comes out about free, and your guaranteed seating basically comes out free. In general, outside of the dining package, just as a regular place to go dine, would you recommend 9 Dragons?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
You know, it's funny. We say a lot, like, especially when we talk about Italian food, Mexican food, Chinese food, we'll always say, oh, yeah, this is just like you can get at your local place, right? So sometimes that's like, well, why would you get it at Disney? Here's the thing. We don't go get Chinese food locally here pretty much ever.
Yeah.
We maybe order from the takeout place once, twice a year. It's usually last minute, you know, on like a Sunday night because we don't know what else to do. And we know whatever we order is going to feed us through the week. So for us,
they give you so much.
Yeah, well, but for us, this is still kind of a treat because we don't eat this all the time at home.
Right.
You know, honestly, this will be one of those places we're walking around EPCOT and, you know, maybe we've done the festival food or it's summertime and there's not a festival. We just want to go sit somewhere. I'm going here because I can tell you right now, without getting alcohol, you can get out of here, I bet, before tip and all for, again, $40 or less for 2 people to eat and
possibly
shit. Very easily.
Yeah.
So let's move on. We'll talk about kind of the Garden Rocks a little bit at the end, kind of doing this in order of food, and then we'll touch base on that. But where did we decide, or should I say, I guess I chose for Saturday's guaranteed dining package, again for the 8 p.m. show, and what did we kind of take a look at prior?
So he chose Spice Road Table because we haven't been there in a long time either. But
we've always loved it.
We have, and the reason I say but is because we feel like we've eaten everything on the menu anyways. Mm-hmm. Even with things, I guess, always changing, we don't even think about that sometimes. So we're like, we've eaten everything. So we went to look at Regal Eagle. Regal Eagle has the walk up the day of. Yeah. And shockingly, well, first of all, let me say that the Pirate or Pixie people were blocked out.
Starting that Saturday, Pirate and Pixie were blocked out for spring breaks.
Yes. So shockingly, there was some walk-up availability at Regal Eagle for both days at all 3 shows. I do believe that both 8 p.m. on that Friday and that Saturday did sell out from Regal Eagle.
But I believe it was several hours into the day. So I do think this is a good potential option.
Yeah.
Now, what I would say, if you must have that dining, book a reservation. Go here first thing in the morning.
And we were going to do this.
Yep. And if you can secure the Regal Eagle, then you can cancel the one that you had. And you're going to save some money. Because as long as you're within 2 hours, you can cancel on MDE. If you're not, just walk to that restaurant in EPCOT and just tell them you would like to cancel and you won't be charged anything.
Yes. We were going to do that. Regal Eagle is pretty cheap per se. It's only $39 per adult and $23 per child. Because I didn't think I wanted Spice Road Table. I was thinking, you know what? I haven't really eaten at Regal Eagle, and I kind of want some of that. Maybe a burger.
You wanted a burger.
Maybe something like that.
This isn't going to be the first time you guys hear about a burger during this trip. Okay.
Right, but then all of a sudden, I can't remember what we were like. You know what? I think that's what it was. Never mind. I do remember now. We were talking like, when's the last time we ate at Spice Road Table? Mm-hmm. And we were like, golly, it's actually been probably since Steve and Tony we ate with.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, even though we haven't
a hot minute.
Right. Even though we haven't
years.
done Regal Eagle, let's go ahead and do it. If there's, there might be new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we did. And it was really nice that we did because, first of all, there was patio seating that they sat us at.
We've never sat out there.
And we have not sat out there.
All the times we've dined,
Yes. So that was amazing. Your Garden Rocks pricing is $56 per adult and then $21 per child.
Yeah. So it is on the much lower end. I feel like compared to a lot of, most of them are going to be, that's going to be the low price point other than Regal Eagle.
Right. Now, what does this come with? Because
so at Spice Road Table, because this is a tapas small plate type restaurant, there are no entrees.
Correct.
Really, right? And there's only one dessert, technically.
Correct.
Platter. So what this comes with for each person in your party, you're going to get a shared tagine, which we'll talk about what was in that.
Uh-huh.
You each get to pick 2 of their small plates, and then there's going to be a shared dessert platter. So that is what you're getting when you look at everything.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're sitting outside.
It's beautiful.
We went ahead, and again, we're going to price everything out for you. We both wanted to get something to drink there because it makes sense to get a non-alcoholic beverage, even other than water, as we mentioned.
And they also did not have any beer, I
Correct.
asked.
Yeah, and the thing that you're going to find, the hardest part with these is that they're going to stay, they're not going to carry O'Doul's or Heineken Zero because it isn't, you wouldn't have that in Morocco. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
but
they're going to want a Moroccan non-alcoholic beer, which I don't believe they have, or a non-alcoholic Kirin, over in China, which they may not make or they just don't have. So
not yet. What
did we get here? Which is one of our favorite things. You can also get it at the walk-up bar area, either non-alcoholic or you can get it alcoholic.
With gin.
Or we used to always get it, instead of gin, we'd swap it with vodka.
Yes, we did. And it is their iced mint tea for $4.79. So we both just allotted for that, and it's so good. Sitting on the patio like that.
Refreshing.
So refreshing. It was a gorgeous day.
Yeah.
It was just awesome.
It was
great.
Yeah. Absolutely loved it. So they bring out your lemon vegetable tagine, which is the shared one, and it's in, I can't remember what those like pots are called. Because these ones aren't clay.
It's not terracotta.
No. These ones aren't clay. They're more like a porcelain or ceramic type, but it has that kind of like, I don't know, what'd you call it? Like dome chimp? No, I don't know. I can't really paint a picture, to be honest.
It's a pretty plate.
It's but they take off that
They
top.
have a little...
And everything's in it.
Little hat. It was like a little hat.
It's like a little hat. There you go. Inside of here is fragrant couscous, preserved lemon, olives, and then you had zucchini. You had cooked squash. Yep. I believe there was some onion in there. It's. I believe this is fully vegan. It's definitely vegetarian. There's no meat product in here whatsoever.
Right.
And I don't believe there's any kind of dairy or egg, so this should be fully vegan. What did you think of this?
Well, this is $13. I liked it a lot. It's very refreshing and clean feeling.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I want to sit on a beach and eat this or something.
On a beach?
Yeah. Or by the it's light, it's fresh, it's slightly lemony. Everything's cooked perfectly. The flavors together are outstanding. The couscous has a ton of flavor, which, couscous, a lot of times like rice, it doesn't have a lot of its own flavor. It's what you do to it.
Right.
And whatever they're doing to this, keep on doing it because
very
it's outstanding. And it's a good, hearty portion.
Yep.
So we were getting down to thinking, all right, what do we want to order? Because we each get 2 dishes, right, that we can pick. They've got now house-made hummus fries. They have a non-spreads that comes with hummus, tremula, and marinated olives and za'atar. They've got a chicken pastilla. They have a Moroccan carrots. They got spiced lamb kefta, spicy shrimp. They've got pomegranate-chili crispy cauliflower, or they have this Spice Road table sampler, which comes with the Moroccan carrots, the spiced lamb kefta, and the house-made hummus fries. So, because I would like to think we're very smart.
Yes, we are.
We had several dishes we wanted to try.
Yes.
Right? So, like for us to maximize the things that we could try, because we knew we wanted the hummus fries because they're one of our favorites.
Well, it was funny because we were actually discussing it, and he was like, I was just gonna let Jeremy pick for all 4 of them. And then he was starting to say some things, and then I was like, oh man, and I was kind of getting sad. And then all of a sudden I see the Spice Road table sampler, and I'm like, what about this one? And I say it out loud, and then he's like, all right, you get this and you get that, and then I'm going to get this and that. And then when you came to ask, I'm like, am I allowed to get the Spice Road sampler and something else?
And still another plate.
And he said yes.
Yeah. And this was going to make us maximize the different types of things we could
100%.
try. Because you're getting 3 different things with
100%.
that Spice Road sampler.
Right.
As opposed to if all you ordered, because we really wanted the lamb kefta and we really wanted the hummus. We really wanted the cauliflower. We really wanted the shrimp. This basically throws in some Moroccan carrots with the sampler, and we still had a whole other plate we could order.
Correct.
So I ordered the chicken pastilla, which is braised chicken in a crisp phyllo dough, almonds, and Aleppo honey for $11 normally. I ordered the spicy shrimp. This is chili, garlic, a peri-peri sauce. This would be $14. Rhonda opted for ordering the pomegranate-chili crispy cauliflower, which comes with a red pepper Aleppo sauce. This is plant-based, would be $11. And then she went ahead and got that Spice Road sampler, which again comes with the Moroccan carrots, the spiced lamb kefta, the house-made hummus, fries, and this would have normally been $15. So we're also trying to maximize what we're spending. Let's start with the chicken pastilla. We'll talk about portion size here. Just based on what we saw at another table. We are part of the dining package. A table next to us is not. They're just ordering regular a la carte small plates.
And they're small plates, yes. Our dining package, everything was a little smaller.
Yeah, than the regular size portion.
Correct, which is fine.
Perfectly
and I
fine.
was actually okay with it because the only thing we took away, and I have no idea why Jeremy put this in a box other than because it was fantastic.
I was going to introduce it to the Sichuan Shui beef in our room.
There was like
I thought
2
they'd be
pieces of
cauliflower
and a small bite of chicken
Yeah, I know. And I got tired of carrying it and I threw it away, and I greatty regretted that decision.
You
about an
threw
hour
it away
later
pretty
because
immediately.
because I was like, I'm not carrying. We didn't have a bag. I'm like, I'm not carrying this styrofoam container.
It was
that could house a ton of food, and it's only got 3 items in it. They only had one size to take.
It's that brown boxed one.
So yeah, but okay. So let's start with this chicken pastilla. Our portion was slightly smaller overall than the portion we saw brought to the table next to us.
But it was cut in half.
Perfectly fine. Yep, cut in half.
No, it wasn't.
Theirs was. Ours was not.
Ours was
and you
not.
could tell their portion was bigger. So this is braised chicken. It is wrapped in a crisp phyllo dough. It is topped with almonds and some of this Aleppo honey and powdered sugar. So he puts this down, and I'm like, why is there powdered sugar? Like, is this dessert? What's going on?
Right.
Cut into it. Take a bite. Why does this work as well as this works?
I don't know, but it's fantastic. It was so good.
There's so much happening when you take a bite of this.
This is talk about sweet and savory.
Yeah.
And a bite. This is
ultimate
it. And it's so good. Like, it's amazing. It's outstanding. I would totally and want to get this again.
I would. It's a little dry, but that's okay because you have all these other things that are, you have with it.
Right. And you could ask for a little extra honey.
Yeah.
Maybe on the side or something.
I could see a little extra honey on the side.
Yeah.
The chicken is nice and tender, and there's a lot of it stuffed in this crispy, flaky phyllo dough that phyllo, whatever, tomato. If you've had it, you love it. It's usually reserved for desserts.
So good.
And then, I just couldn't believe when you got this hit of the sweet powdered sugar with the chicken and the dough, it was just outstanding.
Yes,
I loved this dish.
Yes.
Let's move on to the spicy shrimp. This comes with that chili, garlic, a peri-peri sauce, normally $14. It's in a little, I guess maybe terracotta bowl. It's a good portion of it. Did you count how many shrimp? Probably 6 or so. Good size shrimp.
Yeah.
Like, very good size shrimp.
Yeah.
What did you think of this dish?
Well, we have had this before.
We have.
And Jeremy just wanted to get it again. And it is the same as it was before. Fantastic.
Yeah.
It does not disappoint.
Nope.
It's
Perfectly
not too
tender
spicy.
shrimp. Yeah.
Yep.
Not too spicy.
Yep.
So there is there's a spicy shrimp. I think it's still on the menu at Dahlia Lounge. That is a very similar dish in flavor. The difference in Dahlia Lounge is I believe they charge you maybe the same price, but there's like 3 shrimp just sitting in the bottom of this sauce. This is, again, probably half a dozen shrimp. It's plentiful and it's delicious. I love it. I would get this again.
Yes.
Let's move on to the first time we had the Pomegranate-Chili crispy cauliflower. This comes with this red pepper Aleppo sauce on the side to dip in if you need it. I personally didn't think it did.
I didn't either.
It was like a homemade light marinara.
Yeah.
Right? But you could tell that it tasted very, very fresh.
Yes.
This did not taste like it was out of a can or a jar. Maybe it was, but I certainly couldn't tell. Describe the cauliflower pieces.
They were very large.
Yeah. Huge
very
florets.
Large. Yes.
Breaded.
Yep.
Deep fried. Tempura breaded, deep fried. How'd you like this overall?
It might be one of my favorites.
Oh my goodness.
It was so good.
This will make you not care that there's no meat in this.
100%.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So I remember first time I ever had deep fried cauliflower like this. This was years ago now. We were out in Vegas. I was out in Vegas with my brother, and we were in this big Airbnb doing this kind of mastermind weekend, and he had a chef come in one night and prepare dinner for us. And one of the things that they did was this deep fried cauliflower, and I'd never had it before. Now those were like a little bit broken up than this was. These were giant florets.
Yes, they were.
So I remember eating it, and I think there was a sauce. I'm dipping it, and I was like, what meat is this? And the chef was like, that's cauliflower. It's vegan. And I was like, what? It is so good. The cauliflower is tender. The breading is perfect. And this, I didn't see any regular portions ordered, but if the regular portion is any bigger than this,
you're going
to need a wheelbarrow to carry it out.
There was one next to us, and I was trying to see if she had one more. It was only one more and a large piece.
But it's a huge portion.
It was great.
So when you're
and this
thinking,
sauce was like almost, not the sauce, but the what was on it was almost like a sweet and sour. Like it felt like
it did feel like a sweet and sour chicken without the sour sauce.
Yes,
that red sauce. This was just more of a Moroccan marinara. We'll call it.
Really good.
Loved it. But this is one to know too, like the size portion of this, if you're sitting down, you got a group and you're thinking, I need X number of dishes, and you're getting the cauliflower, you're probably going to be good. You probably don't need to go, well, is that enough? It'll be enough. This is huge. All right, let's move on to our sampler. We'll start with, obviously, the house-made hummus. You can get this here year-round. You can get it at, is it Food and Wine Festival? When they set up at Greece, though, isn't it? When they put the Greece booth, that's right there on the other side of the Moroccan Pavilion, right?
I don't feel like I've seen
We haven't seen it, I feel like, in a little while. But we used to get it, and we love it.
Yeah.
So they take really good hummus. I'm guessing they freeze it. They cut it into little sticks, like almost mozzarella stick size.
Like
they bread it
square,
and they
yep,
deep fry
yep,
it.
Yep.
The outside is crispy.
Yep.
The inside is nice and soft and
So
hummusy.
So good.
I love it. I think this is so good here. I would highly recommend getting this whenever
100%.
you go. What about the spiced lamb kefta? Now we got one. I'm just going to say meatball because it's the size of it's a football shaped meatball on a stick. Lamb kefta. How did you like this?
Again, we've had this before. Same. It's a fantastic. It didn't disappoint. All the flavors are there.
Yeah.
The sauce, whatever it was like laying in, it was fantastic.
Yeah,
It's so good.
If you've never had lamb, I think this is a good way to try it for the first
100%.
time. Like I wouldn't go for like a lamb shank or not very lammy. It's really not. Like the flavors in this are a lot less than when you get something like a lamb shank or whatever. Having this ground lamb into this meatball with the Moroccan flavors and spices, it's absolutely perfect. Let's move on to the Moroccan carrots. These are little tiny carrots. They look like they yanked them right out of the ground, washed them off. Still got a little hat on top, little green mohawk going on. What'd you think of these?
These were the smaller of the bunch because the person behind us ordered some and they were a lot larger.
Yeah, there was more and a lot larger carrots.
They were fantastic. I loved them.
Yeah.
I personally thought they were great. They weren't too limpy. They had this part.
They're al dente.
I started to say perfect little snap to it. I liked it a lot.
So we've made our way through the tagine. Let's think about this real quick, okay? We had the tagine, which is a dish. We had the spicy shrimp. We had the cauliflower. We had the chicken. We then had Moroccan carrots, spiced lamb kefta, and house-made hummus. So we got 7 technically dishes sitting on our table. That's not enough. They're going to bring us one more, the dessert platter, which is assorted Moroccan pastries. Now there is an almond cookie with a little kind of driedish cherry in the middle. There is a baklava, and then there was like a spiced cake. Yeah, I would call it. Let's start with the spiced cake. Yeah, let's start with the cinnamon spiced cake. How did you like that?
I didn't like it.
It was,
I took a bite.
It was my least favorite.
I took a second bite.
Yeah,
and I was like, nope, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if to me it was too wet.
I didn't love it either.
The texture in your mouth was like, it was like wet, and then it was like grainy. I don't know.
You know what it had the texture of, and I actually like, but I didn't care for this as much. I know you don't like. It had much more of a texture of a carrot cake.
Yeah, I didn't
you know what I mean,
it.
with kind of little bits
Makes
of something in
sense
there.
then. I didn't like
yeah,
it.
I think they put the stuff in there that they're putting on the oysters over in America.
No.
All right, let's move on to the baklava. This is a very traditional baklava.
It was very good.
And it's very good.
It's very good.
It is light. It's flaky. You know what? They could have snuck some chicken in this thing, and I'd been okay with it. It is sweet.
Yeah.
It's got a good hit of honey in it. I thought it was excellent.
Yeah.
It was one of those where I had a bite, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Well, I'll go back for another one.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is good. And then I went back for another bite. And by the end, it was pretty much gone.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to the almond cookie.
Okay, so I wish, and if we ever got a dessert platter again, because I don't think they sell anything else, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think they have one other that falls under dessert that is a pomegranate chocolate tart.
Okay, I would probably ask on the dessert platter, may I have 3 cookies?
Yeah, I would ask if I could get one of those Publix containers filled with these almond cookies.
Cookie was so good. I don't know what was inside where it made it a little chewy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this thing is the best thing
It was outstanding.
It's the best almond cookie I've ever had.
Yeah, you go back to the banana talk. Banana flavoring doesn't really taste like bananas. Almond flavoring tastes pretty much like almonds. I feel like with a sweeter kick to it. I don't really love almonds just as is.
I do.
But this almond cookie, outstanding.
So
that
good.
almond cheesecake, you remember? Almond crusted cheesecake
yeah,
over
I
at
do.
Narcoossee's.
I like it
One of
at
the best
all.
desserts on property. I absolutely love this. So let's talk about our overall cost. So the 2 dining packages for us before tax and tip comes out to $112.
Uh-huh.
If you had paid out of pocket, you're not going to get that guaranteed seating. You add everything up that we got, all 27 dishes.
27.
We're on this round table that's maybe 3 feet across, and there's barely a place to stick your elbows if you had to. We are a full table, and it's fun. And it would have come out to $81.58. Obviously, you could tack on about $20 if we had gotten 2 alcoholic beverages.
Correct.
So our cost difference is $30.42. That means we're paying $32.42 for
Blue October.
2 guaranteed seats to Blue October. do you feel that based on what we did, is the dining package worth it? Pretend we had not already seen Blue October 3 times the night before, and we weren't going to see them another 2 times before this show. Let's say this was our only shot at seeing Blue October. Do you think it is worth that extra $32.42?
If you drink alcohol, obviously this would be a lot less. So I would say
a $10 difference.
I would say if you're drinking alcohol, absolutely.
Yep.
Honestly, if you're not, I would say no. I would say go to Regal, go to Nine Dragons. I would say no, because you can eat this food without spending $30 extra to see.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, but we had no problems with Blue October, and I was a little surprised.
No, we didn't have a ton getting into the standby shows or anything. Now, we'll get to that part in a minute, but yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I think that your money is spent at better places. Just for $8 more, wasn't it, or something, or $6 more, you could have eaten at Nine Dragons.
Right.
And you would have had a better value.
Right.
Also, the amount of food we have, we would have never sat down and ordered that amount of food if it was just the two of us on our own.
Correct.
If it was not for the dining package. So you now we ate most everything except for the 2 cauliflower florets and a tiny little sliver of the chicken pastilla. I'm still mad at myself for throwing it out. I should have just eaten it right then and there.
You should have. You should have opened it up and eaten it.
We were full. We ate a lot.
We
did. I don't know that the value is there for a dining package specifically. Now, would you recommend Spice Road Table in general?
1,000%. Absolutely.
This was one of my favorite overall meals as a whole. When you take in everything, the atmosphere, the person I'm with, the food, the flavors, everything about this is one of my favorite overall meals from beginning to end that we have ever had at Disney. I love this place.
All right.
I love this place so much.
Yeah, you do.
I want to go back soon. I want to sit outside. I want to get less dishes.
Okay.
I cannot recommend this place.
I'll get the hummus
more.
fries.
Yeah. I can't recommend it any more than what we pretty much just told you.
Okay.
Absolutely love it. So after that night, after the shows, and we'll talk about that to close it out, Rhonda still wanted that burger, right? Because we didn't get it at Regal Eagle. Rhonda was in a mood for a burger. I don't know what that's like, just to be really in the mood for something and have to have it, right?
Well, first of all, this night that we did this was our Spice Road Table night.
Yes, it was.
Correct?
Saturday night. Yep.
So we were eating so early that we were like, and we knew we were getting small plates, that we actually were going to be hungry again. Yeah. And we were talking about, and so we were like, ooh, we could skyline. We have to Bar Riva anyways.
Yeah. We still had day-old Sichuan beef that had been through a journey in our fridge back in the room. But we thought, might not go back and eat that.
Yeah. Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
So we had to go to Riviera anyways. And you can either get off at Riviera or you can stay on. So we were like, all right, we have a plan. We'll go to Riviera. We'll eat at Bar Riva because they don't close till 10.
Yep.
If we leave...
The Duke game was also on. The ACC tournament Duke game was on.
And he wanted to watch it.
I knew I could watch some of it there.
Yes, you could. So, and then I was like, I could get their burger. I'm excited. So as soon as it was over around 8:30, we took a picture with some friends, and then we were out before 9 o'clock.
Yep.
And we were on the Skyliner, and we were getting off at Riviera, and walking to Bar Riva by 9:20. Okay, 9.
Bar Riva closes at 10.
We were.
I was not sure what time they closed the kitchen.
At 9:30.
Yeah.
That's what we were.
That's what we
thought
of. Is they're going to close the kitchen at 9:30.
So that's why at 9:21.
Yeah. Well, our only hope was the fact that they share a kitchen with Primo Piatto, which is open till 11. So we thought maybe we'll get lucky and they'll still have that open, and they can still, even if they can't make all of Bar Riva's food, hopefully at least we got Primo Piatto next door, right? So we get off the Skyliner 9:21. We're going to sit probably at that point at 9:25, 9:26. We sat at a little table. And yes, we can still get food.
And up until it looked like...
We saw people getting food at like 9:45, 9:50 or so.
I started to say, for sure 9:45, because we were trying to pay attention. So I also felt better about this.
Yes, I did too. I opted for their Mediterranean mint lemonade that I've had there several times. I make this at home. It's literally Minute Maid premium lemonade. I buy the 0 sugar at home. You get a little bit of honey in there, some fresh mint. I actually usually top it off with maybe a little bit of soda water. $6.29. It is refreshing. It is so good. I love this thing. Again, if you're someone that drinks, we in the past would get this, and they will add vodka to it.
Yeah.
Obviously for about $10 more or so.
Right.
So you got your signature burger. You're going to go ahead and please your burger palate for the weekend, aren't you? Maybe.
No. Not. It was sad.
Yeah.
And then I feel bad because jumping ahead, we did talk to Chris, and he's like, they don't know unless you say something.
Yeah, we need to get better about saying. We don't want to... we'll talk about the burger first. Just say what was up with the burger. This is a signature blend brisket and chuck burger. It's got Swiss cheese, caramelized onions and mushrooms, a truffle aioli. It's served with the Parmesan herb fries for $17.49. The first time we had this, not long after it came out on the menu,
it was
at
phenomenal.
that time, we thought it was in the running for top burger at Disney, probably easily in the top 3.
And then Chuck and Amy had one, and they didn't really like it. And
now they had a gluten-free bun.
Yeah, but I'm going to call them out. If it wasn't that good, they didn't say anything.
No.
This is why I had a bad burger.
Yeah, they said it to us. Thanks a lot, Chuck and Amy. No, serious. No, kidding.
No, it was overcooked. They did not ask me how I liked it. And
they should in that scenario. Or Chris said,
and then Chris said
it should just be served medium.
Right.
If they're not asking you, this burger should be served medium.
Correct. And it was not.
It was not.
It was
well
dry.
done. Yeah.
It was well done. It was dry.
The bun was also well done.
The bun was I mean, he even kind of looked and I just kept taking the bun off. Like it was just too much bun.
Yeah.
It was like crispy. Like weird. Like I don't know how to explain it. The caramelized onions, mushrooms, Swiss cheese was good, and it made better the burger. And I ate it.
Yeah, but I agree. It was disappointing. And when we did talk to Chris, we need to be better about saying something. We don't say anything because we just don't want to be a pain in the butt.
And we feel bad.
Right, and we feel bad
because
I mean,
it's nobody. It's. Obviously,
it's
somebody's fault.
Yeah, it's somebody's fault. It's late at night. But Chris is right, because if we don't say something and nobody else says something, then they're going to continue to do this to the burger, and they're going to push out burgers that aren't great.
Correct.
So we will take a note for ourselves to make sure we always say something. And we can say, look, we're not expecting anything. We just want to let you know for future guests.
Right.
And I'd be happy to tell them, hey, we got our buddy Chris used to work here. We do this podcast.
Told me to say something.
We do this podcast. We just want to let you know for the benefit of other guests.
Right.
Don't worry about us. You don't have to do anything. We'll still pay for it, whatever.
Right.
It's fine.
Right. Because I
just want
it.
you to know. Yeah. So I asked him if we could still get stuff on the Primo Piatto menu, and he said some of it depends what it is. I said pizza. He said yes. Big shocker. I ordered the pepperoni pizza that comes from Primo Piatto's menu. It is a fresh artisan hearth-baked pizza. It's topped with tomato sauce, pepperoni, provolone, grated parm, $13.29.
Did this cleanse your pizza palate?
It did. I really, it's exactly what you expect. We go back to John, did they give me what they said they would? Yes. Was the size, the value, and all good? I believe so. Could I make this at home? Possibly.
Yeah.
I've tried. We bought a pizza oven. I immediately wanted to throw it in the lake because they're not easy to get the temperatures right. So
maybe you should try selling it then.
would rather try pizza again to make it again. But I loved it. I thought it was absolutely perfect. Obviously, I think we'd probably recommend Bar Riva in the end. We've been recommending it since December of 2019.
We got the cookie.
And we did get the cookie skillet
ice cream.
thing. Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, I love we were
great.
Yeah, because I think I had posted pictures or whatever, and when we saw Chris, he was like, "What was that dessert?" And we were like, "Well, it's a cookie like skillet with ice cream," and he was just kind of like, "Oh," because it really doesn't fit the menu.
No,
you know what I mean? It doesn't
so
at all,
good.
but it is so good. It is a nice, soft, hot chocolate chip cookie with a good old mound of vanilla ice cream on top. Absolutely love it. So we'll kind of just close out. I'm not going to sit here and talk a bunch about Blue October. Most of you are probably sick of me talking about that, but we were able to see all 6 shows. While the line, it wasn't super hard to get in standby. Friday, we lined up at 3:45 for a 5:30 show.
Yeah, we did.
And Saturday, we lined up a little after 4 for the 5:30 show. What we would do basically is as soon as that set was ending, or even maybe a minute prior, we would get out. So after the first show, we got out of the Garden Rocks Theater, or the American Gardens Theater. We walked back out, got into the line, and we were pretty set. We had great seats all the time. The shows were absolutely incredible. Again, what I love about Blue October is for each night, now they repeat the nights, they do that. But like the first set was a pretty standard kind of Blue October set. The second set was much more of their acoustic songwriting style stuff.
Right.
And then the third set was a little bit of mixture. During those 3 sets, an hour and a half of music, they only repeated 3 songs twice in a given night. And then they repeated all 3 of those sets the next night.
Right.
But, in general, I think the American Gardens Theater is such a unique and amazing place to see a band. I don't care if it's your favorite band. I don't care if it's a band you love. Take some time to see a show in here. Whether it's the Broadway show during Festival of the Arts, Garden Rocks during Flower and Garden, Eat to the Beat during Food and Wine, or it's the Candlelight Processional during International Festival of the Holidays, make it a point to try to see something in here. You're not going to find a lot of places like this. The size, the sound, the interaction that most of the bands and the people will give to you there in the audience is just amazing. I love it. He ended the shows basically saying that Disney had invited them back next year, so we'll obviously go back. And I'll just tell one of the stories I did love. Their lead singer, Justin, was talking about, they'll go to the parks during the day.
Yeah.
We walked by their drummer and saw their violinist just in the parks,
right,
just as we were walking. But Justin, the lead singer, was talking about he was riding, this new Tiana ride, and he was like, and he loves it and all, and thought it was great. But while he was in line, it sounded like it was potentially just him at the moment. He turned around and there was a family, maybe. And he turned around, there was a family that had 3 kids, and he was just like, oh, hey, I got 3 kids. And they were kind of like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, again, this is a punk rock guy. He's dressed in all black and leather. He's got tattoos covering most everything except his face, And so I could see people might be like, why is this guy talking to us? And so he's just chatting with this family, telling them he's got 3 kids at home and all. And the guy was like, so, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, well, my band is playing later over at EPCOT. And he's like, oh, what band are you in? And he says, Blue October. And the guy, who looked to be about our ages, was like, oh, man, Foiled. Which is their album that had Hate Me on it, that really kind of made them big at the time. It's their one huge hit.
Right.
He was like, I used to listen to that album all the time in college. And what was so cool is Justin invited that family out. They were at 2 of the shows. At the last show, they were kind of down front in a reserved VIP seating area. Yep. He made sure to go out in the audience and fist bump the kids and, high five the dad. It was very, very cool. I posted, I didn't tell you this, I posted the one video that I had because they ended up sitting next to us in the second show on Saturday night, this family. And I posted a video that I had taken during one of the songs because Justin was coming out of the crowd. He's giving people hugs. And I was like, I went into the Blue October Facebook group and said, if anybody's in this video, here you go. Because a lot of times people don't get to capture that moment. And Matt, who was the guy, responded in that group, who I'm guessing is a new member. And he was just like, he made memories for our family. So it was really cool. We're going to close out this show. But stick around because in the next episode, we're going to talk more food.
Oh, Lord.
We're going to talk Chef Mickey's. We're going to talk sitting at the bar at California Grill.
Yeah.
We're going to talk sitting at the bar at Steakhouse 71. We're going to talk about our very first stay in the main tower of the Contemporary with a theme park view. Everything that we did that day. We're also going to talk a little bit about what we did on Monday, which included our first time having a little breakfast at Garden Grove.
Yeah.
Seeing my brother speak and seeing some other guy speak. So stay tuned for the next episode and you will get all that. Now, in the meantime, if you want those, you got to hit subscribe. You get brand new episodes usually on Tuesday and Friday. Also, check out mainstreet16.com. There's already a lot of info out there. There's going to be a lot more info to come. We would love to see you out there. Don't forget to book your room through the link on the page with Amy of MEI Travel to make sure you are at the Drury Inn. You're going to get some exclusive meetups and some social stuff that we're doing there. It's the only way to get it. Plus, you got that kickback. You got breakfast. You got free drinks in the evening. You got popcorn and sodas most all throughout the day. And your quick walk to Disney Springs. Yep. We're going to have a lot of fun at Drury Inn.
Yeah, because we're going to go Salt and Straw, too.
Yeah, we are. We will do a group trip to Salt and Straw.
Yeah.
I have 3 of my best friends outside of Rhonda in the world are coming that weekend. They will be there at the brewery with us. So if you want to hear stories probably about me growing up, they will have lots of them because I've known these 3 people for a combined total of probably 100 years.
Oh, my God.
Which is crazy to think about. So make sure you hit up mainstreet16.com. And if you are ready for that next trip, of course, no matter where you want to go, our trusted partner, MEI Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today. And then finally, while you're out there, you're getting your room at the Drury, you're subscribing, you're booking your next vacation with MEI Travel, we would love if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got, and we'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.